that you did not know about the first Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees and the ceremony, which took place on January 23rd, 1986. The idea for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was conceived back in 1983 by Ahmet Ertegun. I hope I'm getting his name right. He was the founder of Atlantic Records. I should know that. Having worked in radio, I should know who the founder is. But anyway, so he wanted to honor influential figures in the history of rock and roll, from performers to producers and industry professionals. The foundation behind the Hall of Fame was established in New York City several years before the physical museum in Cleveland was built.
Yeah.
Did you know Cleveland was not the original location for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? The inaugural induction ceremony took place in New York City, not Cleveland, Ohio, where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum now stands. Cleveland was chosen later as the museum's location due to its historical ties to rock and roll. DJ Alan Freed popularized the term rock and roll there. Some other cities that were considered include Memphis and Detroit, but Cleveland's passionate lobbying and financial commitment was what helped them secure the museum.
I was going to say, how did Cleveland land that? You think like LA or, Detroit? I could see Memphis because of the Elvis connection, but yeah, I was like, Cleveland.
I would say money.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that seems what it was. They agreed to, they outbid everybody, apparently.
So
there's nothing else in Cleveland.
The first induction ceremony, again, I'm apologizing for the grainy photos. I was not able to find decent ones for this. But the first induction ceremony was obviously a pretty star-studded event. You had music legends, celebrities. Mick Jagger was there. Billy Joel was there. Keith Richards. They paid tribute to the inaugural class of inductees, who we're going to get to in a moment. The ceremony was described as part concert, part award show with live performances celebrating the pioneers of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. The inaugural inductees were obviously spanning kind of a wide variety of rock and roll. Performers that were inducted were Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, Jerry Lee Lewis, James Brown, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, Fats Domino, Little Richard, and the Everly Brothers.
Yep.
I was going to quiz you on that, but I couldn't quite figure out how I wanted to do that.
Basically all the great rock stars of the 50s.
All the OGs, man.
Yeah, the ones that started it.
The non-performers were Alan Freed, the DJ and promoter, and Sam Phillips, Sun Records founder. And then early influences went to Robert Johnson, Jimmy Yancey, and Jimmy Rogers. The lineup highlighted the genre's deep roots in blues, gospel, country, and R&B. Like, that's something that I've also kind of dedicated on this channel a little bit to, is the roots of rock and roll and how it came from that right there, blues, gospel, country, and R&B. And finally, Chuck Berry stole the show. And no, it wasn't because he was farting in a woman's face.
Did he sing My Ding-a-ling?
I don't know, but have you seen that video? Have you seen that video?
No. The only one I keep seeing that shows up now is him doing the side-eye to Yoko Ono when she's like...
Oh, I did that one up.
Murder screaming.
Yeah, I did a whole video about that,
like,
where she starts singing with John Lennon on some show. And his reaction's like, what the hell is that?
That thing showed up in my algorithm like a year ago, and it's just like every now and then it keeps popping up. Like people discover it, and he's just like, ooh.
Nah, if you want to get real weird, and I'm talking about getting real weird with your life, go look up Chuck Berry fart video. I'm serious, man. I had not heard of it, and it was a few years ago. There was a sports show that I watch, and they randomly started...
Is it called Pink Eye?
No, it is not. But anyway, back to Chuck Berry. He stole the show. He was one of the first inductees. He's, widely celebrated as the father of rock and roll. Not necessarily the greatest human being. Like, there's a lot of things in his past where it's
a lot of those guys weren't, though.
Look who he's hugging right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, man.
Yeah.
However,
a lot of those guys had problems.
Yeah. However, Chuck Berry's influence was so significant that Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones inducted him, stating, "It's hard for me to induct Chuck Berry because I lifted every lick he ever played."
Okay.
Berry later performed his classic hit "Roll Over Beethoven," electrifying the audience and setting the tone for future ceremonies.
And he stole that from
Beethoven.
Marty McFly.
Oh. Roll over Beethoven. I'm telling you, man.
You
just-
wanted to hear it's your cousin,
if you
Marvin Berry.
if you really, really want to get weird one night, look up Chuck Berry fart video. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't want to.
I'm gonna show it to you, Frank. It's gonna be weird, dude.